where the fun begins.
Hello there. How's it going?
Hey everyone, Hybrid Toy Reviews here, and today we are going to take a look at the Star Wars The Black Series Ahsoka Clone Trooper 2-pack featuring a Phase 1 Clone Trooper Lieutenant, and then 332nd Ahsoka's Clone Trooper. This is a really cool 2-pack. We've been waiting for this Target exclusive to drop for a little bit now, and I'm super amped that it's finally out. Let's get into the review and see if this is a good addition to your collection. Alright, you know the drill. As always, you start by taking a look at the packaging. This is a variation of the Black Series double pack. It only features one tapered side instead of like the Clones of the Republic 2-pack, which this would have been a great addition to that line, but that's alright. You have your Star Wars Black Series logo up top above a giant window showing the two Clone Troopers off very well, showing all their accessories and helmets. You have Star Wars Ahsoka in that light blue. Phase 1 Clone Trooper Lieutenant, which is a complete and total mislabel. Thank you, Ood, for agreeing with me. Complete and total mislabel. This is just a Phase 1 501st Trooper, and that's just a mistake that's been made, but that's alright. It's only a premium adult line that they don't cut corners on, right? 332nd Ahsoka Clone Trooper, which is a redo from the Walmart exclusive a few years back. Both of these are on the upgraded 23 body, and I'm really amped about that. You have the warning, 4 Plus, Hasbro. This side of the box, this doesn't tie into the mural. This just features both clones, the 332nd up above the Phase 1, and so yeah, it's not numbered. You go around to the back, there's no number over here. This side of the box features wraparound window, wraparound stripe, Black Series logo. Around back, as I teased, you see both clones' art, Black Series logo, their names, and a bio about clones in varying languages. Pause and read whichever language best applies to you. Below that is a bunch of legal stuff, Disney, Hasbro, barcode, and legal stuff down there. Hanger, tab, and window up top. It's a little more light into the box if you're an in-box collector. I'm not. I like to play with my toys, so without further ado, let's get into the review. Here's our clones out of the packaging, and as always, we'll start by taking a look at the accessories. So they both come with two blasters. They are identical. They come with the shorter clone rifle. It is reuse. We've seen this many times in the line before, this time in a dark gray color. No paint whatsoever, but it is just a very standard clone blaster. As you see, we come with two, so you can have both of them with the short blasters, or they also both come with the long rifle, so you can choose the rifles if you so choose. So no paint again. These are in dark gray plastic. Actually, maybe a little bit of glitter even in there. That's cool, I suppose. So from there, they also come with removable helmets. So the Lieutenant mistype, the 501st Phase 1, just comes with the 501st Phase 1 helmet design. It looks really, really good. I don't think it was an accident. There's a little bit of scuffing on the edges of the visor on both sides. Or actually, that might be a total failure. But there's scuffing on the rest of the armor, so it kind of blends, so that's okay. This is actually our first look at the 2023 body Phase 1 helmet, because the Attack of the Clones Phase 1 clone has not released yet as of the time of this pack. So it looks like a really good sculpt. It's not 100% Attack of the Clones, because it's the Ahsoka series, helmet. It's a nice amalgamation, same as they do with the Phase 2 helmets. It's a little bit of everything blended into one, so it gives it that nice removable functionality. I do really like just all the deco here. You got that little red punch-in on the back of the fin, and it looks like a Phase 1 clone helmet. I really like the look. Bringing in the Phase 1 clone, you see he looks really good. He has that photorealism, remorse, and likeness going on. Actually, we'll even just do a comparison, because then I'll put their helmets on from here. As you see, they are the same. They have the same forehead lines and the same deco. There's no variation. It's not one of them with 5 o'clock shadow, one without, or whatever. They are identical figures. Basically identical, mine the blue deco. So we're going to go ahead and pop this Phase 1 helmet on, and it sits nice and secure it won't come off unless you want it to come off, and that is a good-looking Phase 1 501st. Now, we also get the Phase 2 332nd Legion helmet. There we go, getting nice and focused. This looks excellent. I love the orange paint. I love the white forehead markings. Everything is done very clean. I say clean, it's very choppy, but the deco is applied very cleanly. The choppiness is because of the rush job in Universe, which I love these 332nd clones are some of my most favorite clones. That moment in the Clone Wars never fails to make me tear up when you see them all with their painted helmets, you know, waiting to see Ahsoka again. So this is one of my most favorite clone designs. I love it. Otherwise, it is that Phase 2 clone helmet we have seen on the last couple of Phase 2 clones in the line. Some people hate it because it's not exactly what we saw in Revenge of the Sith to the letter, even though that CG model would never actually fit a human head inside of it. So because it's a little bit of an amalgamation of everything, some don't like it, but I look at it and I see a Phase 2 clone trooper. I adhere to the step back test, which is where you take your figure, you put it on the shelf, and then you take a step back, and does it look like a clone trooper? And to me, these look like clone troopers, so I'm really happy with these. To run through the deco, because these bodies are exactly the same, the Phase 1 501st is largely clean, with just all white armor, except for, as I showed, the blue on the visor and the fin on the helmet, and then blue stripes going down each arm, and the stripes have a little bit of scuffing going on. Not anything insane, just a little bit, little light wear and tear. Probably would have looked a little better with a dark wash, because like you get scuffs, but there's no dirt left behind like in the scuffs. But it looks really good. Something I also like is that these little black marks in the chest are painted in. I think these are some of the first clones, potentially even just in the Black Series, like going back to 2013, that actually have those punched in. And so I do like how that looks. It's just a little eye-catch thing. Something else I'm noticing while handling these, the plastic feels very, I'm going to say satin. You know, like a satin paint, like instead of a gloss paint. I feel like if you had like really dirty fingers and you were touching it, you'd be leaving marks, whereas other figures would be glossy and you could like wipe it away. There's just something about the surface texture on both of these figures, and it's not bad, it's just different. But this has some really cool deco. I really love how the Phase 1 501st came out. The Phase 2 332nd basically just has Phase 2 501st deco other than the helmet, featuring the blue shoulder pads, the triangular pattern on the chest, you have the bands around both wrists, and then the dual stripes down the outside of the legs with the blue on the knee pads, and not really much going on, although a little bit of blue punching on the buttons on the grenade on the belt. So that looks really, really good. I do really like the deco on both of these. Now, I'm going to bring in some figures for comparison here. I'm going to set the 332nd off to the side. Because I wanted to call the 501st Lieutenant, we will compare to the Lieutenant. This is a Walgreens exclusive, and this got put on the 2013 body, which is a terrible clone body. It's incredibly dated. And the issue with this figure is that it was a much darker blue. It's supposed to be almost like a turquoisey light blue. And it honestly looked more like a 501st clone. I heard that these popped up at Ollie's, and I hunted for them, and I never, ever found them at Ollie's, because my plan was to remove the dots on the chest, and then, like, you know, just make them 501st Phase 1s. Although now we have an official release, and it is a much better figure. So, they want to call it a Lieutenant. I'm going to compare it to the Lieutenant. So, we definitely have a solid upgrade here. And then setting the Lieutenant off to the side, let's bring in the Walmart exclusive 2020 body 332nd clone. This is not an AliExpress. I know AliExpress has bootlegs of it. Now, I'm going to be honest. I still like this figure. I like the 2020 body. The 2023 body has some upgrades, but I mean, if you're going to make me compare the 2013 to the 2020 body, that's absolutely a great figure. I'll buy anything they put on this body, even though this one is definitely an upgrade. I like the shade of orange they used on the helmet on this one a little bit better. This one, almost came across. It's a little bit more of a red orange, where this is like an orange. As far as the blue on the rest, though, it's very much the same shade. These figures have very similar proportions. Maybe the 2020 was just a little skinnier in places, but like they both look good. And I've heard some people talk, maybe they might get rid of their 2020s and army build this. I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't do, but I'm not getting rid of the 6 of this guy that I bought. First off, he was way too much of a chore to track down back in the day. I hunted that guy like mad. So those are trophies for me. But like, they you put them next to each other and they're not so different that like you couldn't blend them. Especially with the blue being the same, you could just say, oh, they used 2 different paint cans of orange, they had, because they had so many helmets to make. Like, I'm not really bothered by the minor differences between the two. So, like, I'm going to keep them both on the shelf. So I don't think that, I think the 2023 one is definitely an improvement. But, like, it's not like you got to throw away your 2021 for it. Like, they definitely, can go together. So I'm very happy to see that. I'm going to run through Articulation. I'm same body, but let's do the Phase 1 so we can see if that helmet hinders anything, because you've seen the Phase 2 a few times at this point. Features the double ball neck, which allows him to look that far up before it, like bottoms into stuff. That's all right. You look pretty far down. Of course, he can rotate, get a bunch of pivot. His arms come up to T-pose, deep butterfly joint, 360 at the shoulders with the shoulder pad being able to rotate there as well. Very, very nice. He features an upper bicep swivel, single jointed elbows. They can go to 90 degrees and then swivel at the elbow. Kind of not unnecessary with the bicep swivel because like they both want to turn anyway. 360 at the wrist, with the left hinging in and out, and the right hinging up and down. Something to note on this pack also is that these are like the Target exclusive Apo. They both hands have trigger fingers, so that's a really nice punch in here. He features a mid-torso ball joint, which allows him to crunch that far forward, that far back, get some side-to-side rotation, and a ton of pivot. His legs can kick out almost into a perfect split. There's an upper thigh rotation hidden behind the armor plate. Love to see it. Single-jointed elbows can go, single-jointed knees, wrong anatomy, can go to 90 degrees and swivel. That knee pad is free-floating there. Honestly, not a huge fan of the free-floating knees. The more I deal with them, the less I like them. I didn't like them glued to the thigh, but I like the idea of them glued to the shin. I feel like that's better, but for each their own, I suppose. His feet can point pretty far down, pretty far forward, and then there is a forward-facing pin for rocker. It allows you to get him into some pretty decently wide stances with both feet flat on the ground. Let's do some comparisons here. So, here we'll just sit them right next to each other. Look, they're holding hands. Let's compare to the Walmart exclusive Season 7 Clone Wars Ahsoka. She's going to stand a touch taller because of that stand, but good luck getting her standing without a stand. Here is the Clone Wars Anakin Skywalker, and I feel like these all scale rather nicely. And then, just for fun, let's bring in the 2020 clone, or the 2020 332nd, and the 2013 Lieutenant, knocking over the Anakin again. So, as you see, as I get them all standing, everyone stands roughly the same height, except for Ahsoka being a little bit shorter. I feel that this is relatively accurate, and like I said, Ahsoka should even be a little shorter without that stand. But I like that all the clones are clocking at basically the same height, and that just helps them blend on the shelf. So all in all, I'm really happy with the scaling here. So, end of the day, what do I think of the Black Series Ahsoka Clones 2-pack? I love this. This is an amazing set. I love both figures. I think they would have sold amazingly well individually. Putting them in a 2-pack as a store exclusive, I'm going to be honest, if it was any store other than Target, would annoy the hell out of me. The nice thing about Target exclusives here in the US is that they are very attainable. Regardless of any pre-order fiascos, which I do not pre-order with Target. That is a absolute clown show. But when the figures went in stock, you could do pickup in store, and basically like 95% of stores in the US had a case ready to be picked up. Or they were available online to order with shipping, and as of now, like a day, post going up. They're still available for shipping. They've not sold out. They handle these exclusives very, very well at Target. Maybe come back in a month, they might be a little difficult to come by, but man, as long as you're here, on the first couple of days, you can buy as many of them as you want. I'm going to end up with 2 of this set. I feel that's an appropriate amount because then it keeps me at an even number of 332nds, and I don't really want a ton of Phase 1 501st clones. So I'm happy just to have a pair of those. But this is an amazing 2-pack, 2 clones that I didn't necessarily think I needed because I was happy with the 2020 332nd, but this is a definite upgrade, and the Phase 1 501st is just a cool figure that I'm glad to have. So, regardless of being mislabeled as a lieutenant, it's almost a lieutenant, but it's not. It's the wrong color and no chest dots, but I've said enough on that. So, do I recommend this set? Absolutely. Do I think that it's essential for the collection? No, but I think it's a really cool set, and it's something that I'm really, really happy to have on the shelf. So that's it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. It means a lot that you did. If you enjoyed, you should leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that end of video stuff. I'll catch you next time. Until then, may the Force be with each and every one of you, and goodbye.